For more details of this landmark handover, journalist Wan Wah Sum joins me virtually from Hong Kong. Good to have you join us.
Thank you. Hi.
This is the first time President Xi will be stepping out of mainland China in about 2.5 years. Talk to us about this and how significant this was when you also look at the ceremony itself.
Well, this is the first time that Xi has traveled outside China to another country, to another city outside Beijing. This is his very symbolic regarding the pandemics over the last 2 years. So to him, it is a very significant move outside his outside China. So it shows he's very sort of he's recognized Hong Kong is very important in his agenda when he is going to take another term in office later this year. So he regarded Hong Kong as his one of the landmark of one country, two system in his achievement in his 10 years term. So I think this is significant for him, but for Hong Kong people, people are not very eager to see him here because the ceremony is have refined to only a few people can attend the ceremony, and today we have a typhoon signal number 8 in Hong Kong, so people simply cannot go out and just have to watch the ceremony on TV.
And I want to stay on the people of Hong Kong you mentioned and how some of their concerns. We know that it is now 25 years of the one country, two systems policy. And there is another, it's about for 50 years, which means that by 2047, the protections of the one country, two system policy would run out. How concerned are people about this?
Well, people are very concerned about the success of one country, two system, of course, but it has proved before it comes to 50 years, it's just only halfway into the 50 years. 25 years after the introduction of national security law, Hong Kong people basically do not believe that there's a real one country and real two system. Now, the one country is far more dominant than the two system that China has promised to keep after 1997. So basically, the leadership in Hong Kong are handpicked by the Chinese authority. The Legislative Council have no pan-democratic opposition. Virtually all people who are leading Hong Kong is now so-called patriots to the China authority. So the participation of Hong Kong people in the system have greatly diminished after these years' development. And after the national security law have put into effect, people just keep very silent because they have a very red lines all over the freedom of speech, the freedom of press. So people are simply kept very quiet, and you virtually hear no opposition sounds right here in Hong Kong. So I think the general atmosphere for the Hong Kong people have now think that the one country, two system have not worked out. And so basically the one country have been dominant.
And some of these concerns you raised, issues around freedom of speech and freedom of movement, led to protest under the former chief executive, Carrie Lam. But she has now been replaced by John Lee, who a lot of people see as a pro-Beijing hardliner. Talk to us about this and the implication of this for Hong Kong going forward.
So John Lee is responsible for Security Bureau before he become the new chief executive. So he is responsible for the so-called crackdown of the social movement in 2019. Um, so he is treated as hardliners in terms of um, um, facing the opposition and facing the social movement. So Carrie Lam um, have been so-called a puppet in the Chinese authorities. So she has um, she has tried her best to carry out all the policies that China have put forward. But the difference between John Lee and Carrie Lam is Carrie Lam have a longer tradition of um, administrative officer training in the British rule. So she's kind of, more like, unlike John Lee. John Lee is raised from police force, so he's kind of Kevin Lam is more from the administrative um, training, and John Lee is more from the security mindset. So we see the difference lies mainly here. So we are going to see John Lee would carry out all the Chinese policy in more forceful manner. That's how Hong Kong people expect in the future.
You paint a very grim picture of the days that lie ahead for residents of Hong Kong, but we will continue to monitor the situation. Journalist Wan Wah Sum, thanks for talking to us.